Hello Aquarius, Jessica here with Cardinal Signs. I hope that you're doing well. This reading is for the first half of October. There are 3 parts. We're going to first take a look at general messages and energies. Then we'll look into the crystal for any additional messages. We'll conclude the reading by taking a look into love and romance and what you can expect for yourself and your partner or potential partner. So general messages and energies. Oh, that's super interesting. Capricorn had this exact same card flip out as their overall energy as well. So if anyone has moon or rising in Capricorn, be sure to check out that video. So Aquarius, general messages and energies for the first 2 weeks of October. What does Aquarius need to know? General messages and energies. Right there. Okay, so you have the Hierophant, completion, which is the world, the 5 of Swords, and the Lovers. Okay. So this is the 9 of Wands, and it's the exhaustion card. The message that I'm getting from this card is fairly different from what Capricorn got. So this card is telling me that you may be experiencing somebody really scrutinizing you. There's kind of this sense that they're like watching you, looking over your shoulder, checking up on you, and it's becoming very irritating. It's getting on your nerves and it's exhausting you, constantly having this person either really paying close attention to you or maybe criticizing what it is that you're doing, how you're doing it, etc. So for a lot of you, this may be like a boss type figure or someone that you work with who kind of takes it upon themselves to manage what you're doing and put in their 2 cents because they feel that they know better than you. And this situation is really draining you. For others of you, this could be friends or family members who may or may not be well-intentioned, but are simply stepping on your toes, kind of overstepping your boundaries, and putting their nose in places that you really don't want them, to get in that kind of business. So this is running you down a fair bit, and having to deal with that and try to keep things smooth and even tempered as best as you can. That's what's draining you and exhausting you. So just be careful. There can be the tendency to finally snap and maybe say something or do something that you would later regret. So just be careful with that energy, because it is a fairly irritating type of person who's circulating around you and really draining you. Now we have the Hierophant, which does talk about potentially this person being a boss-like type of figure. But that aside, we can take a look at this within its own context here. Paired with the world is all about finishing up a cycle very successfully. And right now, I think you are approaching that period where something is going to be drawing to a close. And I think you have a bit of a blockage right now in terms of being able to envision what your life is going to look like after that. So there is the need to let something go within this completion card, because you're done with it. You have achieved it. You know, you're successful, and now it's time to move on to something else. And right now, I think you're kind of perplexed because you have no idea what on earth that's going to be. And there can be a little bit of fear associated with that, but I don't see you being too troubled by it. It's more so coming up to me like, it's like a writer's block. It's almost like you have this creative block in terms of where you want to see yourself, or like what are you going to fill your life with when there's this void, once you have to let something else go. So you're letting something go, and what's replacing it? So that's kind of the thing that you may find that you're trying to work through right now. And you may have some ideas where you're testing out different things of what's going to suit you best, what's going to be a good fit for you. And I'll just let you take a look at this card a little bit more closely. So this is a puzzle, and we're trying to fit in the final piece. This can also be talking about feeling a lack of completion in your life. End of cycles aside, let's put that as a separate message. This can be feeling like there is an empty void, and you're trying to find the thing that is going to fill you up. And this can be why you're so depleted. You know, you really are kind of like in this vacuum type energy where there is something missing. You can't put your finger on it. And these are the kind of things that you're going to be working through. It doesn't look to me like there's going to be an immediate solution in these first 2 weeks of October, but we'll see what the crystal has to say about that. Now, this is a separate situation, and because we have the Lovers, this is most likely a romantic in nature situation, but this can be about any kind of relationship. It can be friendship, it can be family, but it's between two people, and we have comparison. So at the heart of it, we have you comparing two people. This can be comparing yourself with someone else, or this can be kind of, you know, taking a look at two other people and, you know, saying this person has this, this, and this person has that, that, and that. And, you know, you're trying to come to some kind of, you know, conclusion with that. If it's love, then this could be, you know, who do I want to date, or who do I want to spend more time with? If it's a friend, this could be, you know, who do I want to take on vacation with me? It could be something as simple as that. So it's going to be different for everybody. But basically, these two people who you are contrasting against one another, keeping in mind that one of these people can be yourself, they are very different. I wouldn't go so far as to say that they're black and white, because they do have a similarity between them. But their differences are fairly significant, and that's going to play a big factor in how you're going to make whatever kind of decision or conclusion that you are needing to draw from this contemplation. But I do see you contemplating these two people for some reason. So I'm going to take a look into the crystal and see what else is coming up for you, Aquarius. Okay, so I am seeing a harp, and this can definitely indicate that love is highlighted. So this can for sure, these two cards on the end here, they can for sure be talking about love and romance. A harp is a very romantic type of symbol, but it is indicating that you are going to be achieving harmony between yourself and hopefully this person that's causing a little bit of trouble, as well as harmony between these other two people. Now, For some of you, this might be two very close friends or very close family members who are in a fight. They've been bickering and there's been a falling out. And now you, unfortunately, are wedged between them, which is an exhausting place to be. And you're playing basically the telephone game, and you're the messenger back and forth, the intermediary between the two. So having that harp come in, which is going to restore balance and harmony to that situation, is definitely very good and much needed for you right now. Now the number 7 is coming up as being significant, and this will mean something different for everyone. It can be talking about your 7th chakra. It can be talking about number of days, weeks, months that maybe you are looking forward to something or hoping for something to come into your life, but the number 7 is showing up here for you, Aquarius. And that's everything coming in. Okay, so we're going to move on now, and we'll do love reading. So this will be for you and your partner or your potential partner. Love and romance for Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to know about love and romance for the first 2 weeks of October? Okay, so your overall energy, you have the World again, so that is a strong energy for you, Aquarius. We've got the 6 of Swords, and we have the Knight of Swords. I'm just going to shift these over a little bit. And your partner is coming in with the 8 of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the 9 of Wands. Okay, so your partner has the 9 of Wands as well. For some of you, this might be a little bit of a tricky time. It would seem that you're ready to end something. With this being your overall energy, this doesn't have to mean that you're ending the relationship, but there is definitely a period or phase where you have outgrown something and you're ready for something more. So this can be, one of those major milestones within a relationship, where you're taking things to the next level from where you currently have been. It looks like that transition is going to go smoothly. We have the 6 of Swords, which indicates that it will be a fairly peaceful, easy transition. Not too much to worry about, really. It's quite calm. We've got the Knight of Swords, which is indicating that you are more than ready for this, and you really have your eye on that next step, and you're very focused and you're intent on achieving that new level of maturity. So overall, you're very ready, and this is going to go quite smoothly for you. Something to be aware of here, your partner is coming in with cold feet. They have the 8 of Cups, which means that they are kind of in flight or fight mode. So they may be a little bit flighty. You may find that they kind of become distant from you, that they require more space. They might not be returning your calls. They might be avoiding you. But I think ultimately they're going to be able to pull themselves together and overcome this. They have the Ace of Swords, which indicates that they have a lot of courage that is available to them, and they're just a little bit slow in realizing that. So initially they're going to come off as being reluctant and frightened to wholeheartedly take this next step with you. It might leave you kind of wondering where you're at, you know, with them. But I think they are going to finally, you know, realize and claim that courage with both hands. So I don't remember if I told you which cards your partner has. So they have 8 of Cups here, Ace of Swords, and the 9 of Wands. So with that 9 of Wands, they are getting ready as these next 2 weeks unfold. Closer to the end of those 2 weeks, I think they're really going to hit their stride, where they've thought about it, they've processed it on an emotional level, and they've come to a favorable conclusion about that. And it's a matter of them gathering their strength and resources together so that they feel strong enough to face this new level with you. So I'm not sure why your partner's coming in a little bit reluctant, but this could be something from their past that has caused them to be a little bit fearful of larger commitments. So just be aware of that. As I said, for your part, it looks like things are going fairly smoothly. The only issue I can see is if your partner is being so standoffish to such a degree that it's starting to throw you off and begin to question, you know, how this is working, where you're going, if your partner isn't able to, you know, put in 100%. So ultimately, I see this being a favorable conclusion once you work through those energies together. Open and truthful dialogue is going to be really important, especially coming from your partner. So if you have to, if you can see that there's a lot going on and they're kind of struggling with this completion and moving on to the next level, try to open up in a very gentle way, keeping in mind that you have this Knight of Swords, which can be a fairly intense and intimidating energy. So try to turn that down just a little bit, because right now they are basically coming in with the energy of like a deer. So you don't want to startle them. You have to approach them very gently and cautiously, and kind of ease into that conversation rather than just kind of confronting them with it. So opening that dialogue can really help them, because they might be afraid to even get into that can of worms and be a little bit avoidant. So it's okay if you take that first step, just keeping in mind that you have to be very gentle and cautious with them. And I think that you can probably offer them a lot of comfort and reassurance with regard to the relationship and where it is that you hope to go together, where it is that you see the two of you traveling together through life. So you're coming in here with the stronger energy and the upper hand, so it's important to keep that in mind and be mindful of where your partner's at. Okay, so I'm going to draw the reading to a close at that. So I hope that this was helpful for you, Aquarius, and I hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you would like a personal reading with me, you can find my email in the description box below. So I will see you in a couple weeks for your next 2-week forecast, and take care of yourself until then.